All right. Welcome, everybody. Once again, as always, let us know if you can see. You should be able to see me. You should be able to see George. You should be able to hear me. You should be able to hear George. We always like to do a double check because from time to time I skip a step in here somewhere. So let us know.
Oh my goodness. Did you see as soon as I bought it? I'm sorry, everyone. As soon as I bought them.
As soon as you got Cleanspark.
As soon as I got Cleanspark, I'm like, oh, I'll go in and out, and then bam.
Well, the last 45 minutes have not been great, but it's early in the day.
Brutal.
This is a super red board right now. We'll get to the board. We'll see what's going on with a few stocks. Everything just accelerated to the downside just in the last little bit. The first hour the market was open, everything was all right. Little bit red, but everything was holding pretty tight. TeraWulf is still green. That's the only green thing on the board. So TeraWulf, you guys know, I know a bunch of you got into the TeraWulf trade, and we've been talking about that one on the channel for a while now. So congratulations. This is day 9 for TeraWulf, over $1. They are now green. They're at $1.49. So I think unless something catastrophic happens, TeraWulf's out of their danger zone. If everybody could please smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the stream pick up steam. Let me see who's in the chat. Hello, good morning, James, Robert, Edmund, George, Keith, Miguel, Sour Melon Gaming.
Sell, George, sell. I almost want to sell just to see if it takes off. You know
Darren,
that?
James, Barry, Organic Auto. If I missed you, Mocha Nut, Alex. Alex, no, Bitfarms not out of danger yet. TeraWulf's on day 9. Bitfarms is on day 8. And I am not going to jinx them because they are now at $1.10. They have to close today above $1. They have to close tomorrow above $1, and they have to close Monday above $1. So, I mean, that should have been a done deal, but things are accelerating a little bit as we speak to the downside. So,
see, I don't even trust myself, and I was right.
let's see.
You're not going to give me that one?
What you were right about? What about it?
I said that it's not going to make it.
What, the 10 days?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's still at $1.10, so we still got a little bit of
not over with,
comfort zone. We got Thursday, Friday, Monday. So we got to hold on. Everybody buy Bitfarms, not financial advice. But it was really doing well first thing this morning, but you can see we've had these are 15-minute candles, so we're 6 in a row here into red candles. So this has been a little bit of a push to the downside, and we are on the brink here. So we're threatening losing this 28.8 line of support. And I know it looks like you might say, well, we already lost it, but I'm on the 15-minute time frame, on the 4-hour and the 1 day. So on the 4-hour, this is the candle we're in right now that just started. The last 4-hour candle is the first one that closed under 28.8. I will tell you, depending on whose chart you're looking at, I see people with lines at 28.8, 28.7, 28.6. So for those people that had a line at 28.6, you know, this one closed pretty much right on the line. But I've been looking at 28.8. I'm worried this one closed below that. This one is now opening above this. If this opens and closes below 28.8, then I feel like we're starting to talk about 25,200. On the daily, we did, you know, we hung in there. We closed yesterday at 28,809. So that was a perfect retest on the day yesterday. But we got to get through today. and see if we can make it today. So, you know, if this closes above, then I'll still feel good, and I'll feel like this held strong. But I'm a little less confident than I was an hour ago, I'll tell you that, and definitely less confident than I was 24 hours ago. But all that said, I see James Ross saying, no panic selling, but when you're there, buy when there's blood in the streets. Maybe the stocks drop more, but everyone who feels like they missed the first chance may get another chance. So, yeah, I mean, depending on where you're at in your buying process, these can be buying opportunities, right? If you're still bullish on Bitcoin and, you know, you still feel good about the Bitcoin miner that you're invested in. Gorilla like button is smashed. Thank you. Sourmelon Gaming, the market should be green. It's 420. Yeah, I mean, whatever happened? Well, the market is not over yet. It may yet be green. Still early. Keith said George is like Elon Musk.
I'm like Elon Musk. Did you guys hear that supposedly the rocket ship blew up after like 400 feet this morning? And I can't find any footage of it. I don't know if someone's just ripping on Elon. That was really cool. Did you watch that, Tom, or no?
I did not. I didn't. I don't. I didn't watch the.
It's impressive.
So what happened?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if everybody's ripping on, but it was fine up to 400 feet, I guess. And then it supposedly blew up.
Is this SpaceX?
Yeah, SpaceX. He's trying to get into outer space. He said the final frontier. My support is 28.3. Alex, man, see, you're a better investor than me, Alex. You know that. I'm the worst investor. Tom's the best. Joe versus the pro.
SpaceX Starship rocket launches in historic test, but explodes mid-flight. That is from CNBC. So, all right, sorry to sidetrack everybody, but we got rocket ships exploding, so that's worth a 1-minute detour if you don't mind.
I mean, I'm impressed with Elon Musk. I mean, I still don't trust him yet, but I'm beginning to trust him more and more than everybody else.
He's been pretty high profile the last couple of weeks. He's been all over the place talking about everything. I think he is doing a little bit of, well, I listened to a lot more of some of the interviews he's given recently, and, you know, taken out of context, it can sound like fear-mongering, but actually, if you listen to the whole thing, I did feel a little better about it. You know, he's going on and on about AI, but if you really listen to what he said, we're not on the brink of Terminator. That's all I'll tell you.
So I'm a small business owner, so I try to do my own SEO search engine, and that Chat GPT thing is out of control. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Have you downloaded Bing with Chat GPT 4?
No,
because
I have not.
That's supposed to be vastly superior.
Is it really?
I haven't either because I don't want to mess up any of my machines.
Yeah, I don't. I'll tell you what. I don't like. I hate to say this, but even when you try to search on any other engine besides freaking Google, you pull your hair out.
Well,
and I hate to say that.
Ultimately, I think people are going to give Bing a try.
I won't. It's MSN, and I'm sorry, but I've tried them so many times.
But they're now Chat GPT, which you just said is good. So that's their new search engine technology. And it's Chat GPT 4, not 3.
Oh yeah, that makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, it's 3D. It's 3D. I haven't used it. I've just looked at other people using it.
I've just looked at other people using it.
I have no desire. I messed around with ChatGPT just to test it and see, how it did and get a sense of what it was. But I'm not using it. I'm not yet confident that it's a reliable source of information. I feel like it's the oldest one in the book, garbage in, garbage out. So,
well, to hear that Elon Musk made it, that's what's just crazy. He was one of the people that made. I mean, I know he wasn't the only person.
no, but
He
he
did
was
it
in the
as
initial group.
when it was a non-profit, and then to think that they switched it. You know what I mean?
Like everything. I mean, if they
Yeah.
can make money on it, they're going to make money on it. Biz 101, hello, what's up, Tom? We're doing our thing. We're checking out the SpaceX Elon Musk rocket ship that apparently, so I'll just get off of this, but let's real quick just look. Elon Musk's SpaceX on Thursday launched its Starship rocket for the first time, but fell short of reaching space after exploding in mid-flight. No crew were on board, so nobody injured. It's the culmination of years of regulatory work and technological tests for SpaceX and the largest and most powerful rocket ever built. All right, so I don't know quite exactly what to make of this. I'll look into this later, or you guys can look into it on your own. Or if you already have, drop in the chat if you know more about this. I mean, it sounds like one small step and then an explosion. So I'm not sure how much of a success this was. Thankfully, no passengers, so nobody
That was crazy.
hurt.
Craig says to the moon, George, I was born in, I can't say it, Ohio. Name of Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon.
Yeah. Well, and we haven't had anybody walk on the moon in an awfully long time. I would love to see these companies progress, and get the space program back into some type of it's dying on the
there
vine.
you go. They intentionally detonated the rocket because the second stage didn't detach from the first stage.
Oh, so they fail safe. They just called it.
Tom, do you think there's support then? It says since we broke 28.8, do you see us heading into 25K? Question mark Bitcoin.
I feel like I want to see where the next 4-hour candle closes, but I am now a lot more concerned than I was. Like, all of this was all good stuff. Even, we candle wicked down. These are 15-minute candles. So we candle wicked down, got right back above. Then we did have an hour where we went down, but then we went right straight back up. So all of this, I felt like 28.8 was holding just fine. We now have some momentum to the downside, and this.
I'm not saying, but hang on a second, everyone. When I said it yesterday, what's today? Does anybody know?
Today is the new moon.
New moon. I just said there'd be movement. I didn't say I knew which way. I just said there'd be movement.
So if I zoom in, you can see this I don't like. This is a 4-hour candle that is closed and done, and it closed way under 28.8. I mean, not way under, but 28,621. So, if your line was at 28.6, you still feel okay, I guess, right now. My line was at 28.8, and now we're in a 4-hour candle. We're early into it, but if this one opens and closes below that, I'm going to start to feel like, the next little journey, and I am still bullish. I think this is a pullback inside of a larger rally. George and I were talking this morning. Bitcoin rallied up over 100% from November 21st through, a week ago. So, after a 100% rally, if we get a 10% or a 15% or a 20% pullback, that's pretty normal activity. So, to me, I don't think this is a shift in the, overall bullish trend. I think you guys, if you've watched, I've said on the last 4 streams in a row, we are overdue for a pullback. So that doesn't mean we're going to get one. We've done a lot of sideways consolidation, and Bitcoin fell so far that, maybe a lot of the indicators are able to reset themselves with, a day or two of sideways activity over the past. But
did you read that there was I'm trying to find this Twitter that I just got earlier that somebody sent to me.
Yes.
that somebody reactivated a wallet that has a ton of Bitcoin. I don't understand the whole reactivating the wallet. What does that mean? Does that mean that they put them onto exchange? I couldn't. I guess maybe they sold something.
That's what,
And,
to me, that would mean that they used it, but I don't know that that's how that term is being defined.
yeah, I don't know. I think that must be because I was like, well, how do you activate a wallet? You know what I mean?
Maybe
And
there's a
that's the
little
only thing
like
I could think of is that
status like Facebook.
I'm trying to find it because it was a ton of Bitcoin. A ton of Bitcoin.
Well,
This wallet.
could be FUD. Could be
I know it
somebody
could be,
messing with us.
but it's good. Hey, you got to put it out there though.
Yep.
You got to make the decisions. Ultimately, it's you guys that make the decisions. If I don't tell it though, then what is it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it. You know, if I know it, I'm going to tell it.
Alex stopped out of all miners today in profit. Thanks, George. So Alex, we know, is more of a swing trader. And so this is just what we talked about again yesterday. Like, it depends on what your investment thesis is. If you're a swing trader and if you're way up and you've got, an exit point and you're taking profits, I mean, that's how you make money. So there's not that that's the only way to do this. So I understand there's a lot of different methods to investing, but Alex does seem to be quite successful playing these swings. Biz 101 said 28,500. Hold that and we are good. Well, it looks like we're holding it for now. Let's see, it's just a giant. We need a talking investing live stream rally. Let's see a giant green candle. Turn this day around.
Alex says, I think Bitcoin will retest 27.3. Norwolf, please give me a good reason.
So, Edmund, if you want to clarify, let me just make sure you haven't. Because I will tell you, I don't know what you mean by this, and if you're doing something that's making this much money, sharing with the group would be good. Let me find that comment that you just made.
Sharing is caring.
So Edmund said synthetically bought 10,000 shares of Wolf at 10 cents. No lose situation. So if you can elaborate on what...
I mean, the only thing they can be is an option. Does that make sense?
Well, okay, which option at what strike point at, what date?
Yeah, I know, but that's what basically it is. I mean, it sounds like.
So I agree, but let's get, if you would be so kind,
right.
Edmund, to clarify, if that's what you're talking about. If you don't want to tell us the exact option, just at least let us know that you're talking about call options, or if you're talking about something else altogether that I'm unaware of.
Tom likes synthetics.
I'm waiting for the synthetic machines to take over. No, that's not happening. Will Tom celebrate if Bitfarms stays above $1? I will, and it will not be until the bell rings at 4 o'clock on Monday, because we've been down this road. We did 5 days in a row and we lost it. We did 6 days in a row and we lost it. This is now, today would be 8 days in a row if it holds, but 8 is not 10, and we need 10. So I will celebrate. No celebrating early. We all know that is a bad look, and it can go terribly wrong. So I'm waiting for it. But yes, if and when, I'm going to be a happy camper, because I do think that's what's holding it back from getting to what should be a more natural, normal price. This battle for $1, we got to just put it behind us on Bitfarms. In my opinion, in this retail investor's opinion, Bitfarms is way undervalued. And I think it has everything to do with this battle at $1. But we will see. Time will tell. Darren, Stronghold on day 3 over $1. Poll, does Stronghold make it 10 days? Time for poll. Good call. Yeah, so see, this is what's happening. If you guys remember, a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, it was, oh, all these are hopelessly under $1. Everything's going to have to do a reverse split. Everybody's going out of business. So for those of you, and it's most of you, and I see a lot of members on the stream today, but for those of you who were patient and believed in your investment thesis, right, we got doubles and triples and quadruples by waiting for all of these to run back up to $1. So let's do that poll.
We were, as Tom does that, we were reading Plan B, and Plan B now is saying that he thinks at the halving, Bitcoin could be only $32,000. I don't know how he goes from that analogy to the one he had before.
Yeah, me neither.
I use method.
Just typing this poll in. So this is just a yes or no. Is Stronghold going to make it to 10 days over $1 and get back into compliance with the NASDAQ? This is day 3. So they got a ways to go, and they are currently trading at $1.03. So they're on the brink. But this is day 3 over $1. So we got somebody at day 9 over $1. We got somebody at, which is Wolf. We got somebody at day 8 over $1, which is Bitfarms. We got somebody at day 3 over $1, which is Stronghold. All 3 of those companies are up so substantially this year, as are many of the other Bitcoin miners. We'll look at that. We'll check that chart out in a minute. But you can see there's some big moves to the downside. 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8%. And by the way, Bitfarms is down quite a bit. So this was when the U.S. equity markets closed yesterday. So Bitfarms, I'm sorry, Bitcoin. I always do that. Bitfarms, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down quite a bit. Bitcoin, when the U.S. equity markets closed, was at 29,237. So from there until right now, we're down 2%. So Bitcoin is down 2% today so far. The day is far from over. We'll see where it ends. I am looking most specifically, you know, my goal yesterday was let's see if we can get back over 30,000 and hold 30,000. Well, that did not happen. My goal today is let's see if we can get back over 28.8 before the end of this 4-hour candle. And more importantly, can we get back over 28.8 before the close of this daily candle? Because this did technically close above the line at 28,809. Now, my line happens to be at 28. Yeah, mine's at 28. Oh, it's just too thick. Because, so this is a thicker line because this is one of my strong lines of support. But technically, this line is at $28,800. So we closed above that yesterday. We're below it right now. I think it's very important that on the daily we close above this. Otherwise, I think we start to get into scenarios where maybe this next very strong line of support, in my opinion, would be coming into play. But we're not there yet. We're still fighting the good fight. But you can see on the 4-hour, we have one 4-hour candle now for the first time, and this goes back to April 10th. So that's 10 days ago. So we've had a 4-hour candle close below 28.8 for the first time in 10 days. So if this starts to be a trend, then I think you guys see where we're going here. All right, we got that poll up. Gonna do my intermittent, smash the like button, please. We got 39 likes. We're going for 100. We always try to get 100 likes. It helps the live stream. It helps get more people on the live stream during the live stream. So the more the better. So I appreciate it, everybody. If you're able to, please smash the like button. Let's see. Knee Deep said, if 32K Bitcoin halving, we are screwed. I happen to agree with that sentiment. I do not think there's any realistic chance that we're going to be at 32,000 at the halving, but if we are and we sustain that for months, I think you're going to see an awful lot of these companies hang it up because they're just going to be illiquid with really, at that point, they will have diluted themselves into, a point where there's what's the point? So not everyone, not every single company, but there will be, in my opinion, if we're at 32,000 at the halving, half these companies should look themselves in the mirror and say, it's time. That's it. We lost. That means they lost. That means they had another year of, hundreds of millions of dollars in losses, and things get twice as bad because the reward is cut in half. So, where they're going to go from out of the frying pan into the fire.
You guys sidebar? I just got off the phone with somebody from my office, and I have a really big account that owes me a lot of money. I'm in construction. I do repairs on houses and buildings, and this one was 6 figures. So they're trying to short us like $35,000. So they're like, oh, if we pay you X number of dollars, will you take the lien off? I'm like, absolutely, I'll take the lien off. Doesn't mean I'm not going to sue you for the $35,000 though.
So they still want to short you the 35.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll take the lien off, but I'll just sue you on account. I won't sue your property. Okay, no problem. Sorry.
Nobody ever wants to pay that last draw. That, for those of you
does.
in or around construction, you're probably familiar with this phenomenon. Everybody thinks that last draw is a negotiation for some reason, even though it's all just a part of the contract. Martin said, Bitcoin 32K for the halving, it's game over. I'm with you, Martin. I'm on the same page.
I hope not. I mean, I'm just saying what he said. I'm not saying I agree with it.
Sour Melon Gaming said, don't get me wrong, Tom. Uh-oh. Your normal videos have always been great. It has, however, been very helpful recently with the increased amount of live streams since we are all able to put our heads together. I agree with you, Sour Melon Gaming, and I want to put videos out. I want to do both, but these are real time. And we all get to have a conversation in real time and, without all the delay. And so I think George and I both, I don't want to speak for you, George, but I think we enjoy the live streams. And I think there's a place for both videos and live streams. I feel like they do different things. In the past, we were really only doing that once a week live stream every Friday after the market closed. And we do, of course, once a week a live stream every Tuesday after the market closes.
It is a time
for
commitment.
members.
I mean, that would be the only...
It's a big time commitment, especially for George, who's got a lot. Like, this is what I'm doing for the most part, but George has a lot that he's doing. So, it's hard. But I agree. I appreciate the comment, and I like the live streams.
Guys, just so you know, I have 5 ideas that I'm working on right now that I would imagine either one of them can be worth $1 billion or all 5 of them can be worth $1 billion.
I want in. We should give.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's just. I don't need anybody's money. I don't want anybody's money.
No, but are you willing to give members
it's all about the
sneak
cash. Yeah.
preview prior
at
to
the right time? I will. But
right.
I mean, I always find in life, I'm that type of guy that would rather not ask for money from people. Because it always goes astray when you ask for money from people.
asking for money, having partners. I mean, all those things add layers of, oh, thank you, FV702, for
It's
the
all about
super
the cash,
chat.
baby.
All right, so about to go all cash. Are you about to get out? Is that what you're saying? Are you going to get out of the miners and wait until they drop? Let us know.
Does anybody?
All
You
right.
should have done this. Should have been the next question. Does everybody think this could be a bull trap?
A bull trap. Is this a bull trap?
That could be, right? I mean, it could
Yeah,
be.
it could be. It could be. I mean, I would call it. At this point, I would call it a bull run. We went up 100%.
Right.
So now the question is it over? And we're headed the other direction, or are we getting a normal correction? You know, I almost feel like we've gotten spoiled a little bit. Well, and we deserve it after a year plus of just brutal price action. You know, we've had a really nice run the last 4 months, but some pullback is to be expected.
Isn't that funny? I shouldn't even say this next. I put all my money in, so they might have trapped me. I don't think I put all of it, but I put in half of it.
Well, just don't let them trap you so that you panic and get out. You bought now, so if you get out lower, because I
just have that one number that I hate going below. You know, and it just hurts when I see it, and it's like, I mean, I know everybody does. Everybody has a certain number that they don't like, and it's like you work so hard for this money, and then you can see it disappear, like, really quick. It's like, you know how long it took me to get there? You know what I mean?
Right. And you don't want to give it away. Miner Doc said, healthy pullback on CleanSpark. Time to buy more. So he's feeling CleanSpark buy the dip. Martin, we will make it. Everyone thinks of selling on down days. Just keep remembering, in 2025, we will all be millionaires. So that's the longer term outlook. Alex is saying, Tom, looking at the Bitcoin daily moving average 20-day starting downward trend. So that's, you know, is that the sign that we're going to get maybe a 20% pullback? Or is that the sign that we are now, you know, the run is over? And you can see we're accelerating a little bit to the downside, unfortunately, here on today's live stream. We're moving in the wrong direction. This is the opposite of a pump. Let's see. Edmund. Okay, so Edmund is saying he's selling Wolf November $2.50 puts for 140 to 150 and buying Wolf shares with the money. If the shares are above 250 at November, then you paid 10 cents. So that's a great strategy, Edmund. Yeah, I love that.
Explain that to me a little bit like I'm in 4th grade.
So he's selling the puts at $2.50. Now, Wolf is currently only at around $1.50. So Edmund is banking on the fact that ultimately, in the perfect scenario, Wolf gets all the way over $2.50 by November. If that happens, then all the money that he got for selling those puts, he gets to keep 100% of that money. And he took that money and bought shares of TeraWolf with it. So at $1.40 to $1.50, he was able to effectively buy into TeraWolf for, you know, maybe putting 10 cents of his own money in, plus the money he got from selling the puts. So, you know, that could work out monumentally in his favor if TeraWolf can run up over 250 in the next, 5 months? So I love that strategy. thank you for sharing that. That's, you know, and I'm not recommending anybody do it. That is a little more complicated than, there's an awful lot of traders who do no option trading at all. I think it's the vast majority, but plenty of you guys I know have experience and you understand options at different levels. So don't do anything you're not comfortable with, and certainly don't start. If this is your first option trade, this might not be the best one to start with. If you're, you know, for those of you who are intermediate or advanced, then yeah, this is a fantastic strategy.
Or those of you who think you know what you're doing.
No, Edmund, that's I love it. I love that. Bitcoin Rules said done. Done. What are we done with? Is this a follow-up to a previous? Okay, let's see. Bitcoin Rules. 2023 goal, Bitcoin 40K, and figuring out how to get on the member Discord. Already connected YouTube channel, still no luck. Let me see if I can get, I have tech support in the room. The live stream's going fine, but Bitcoin Rules is saying that he still can't get into the Discord. So he said he figured out how to connect YouTube to Discord, but still no luck.
Did he connect the right YouTube account to the right Discord account?
So if you have more than one YouTube account, so the first thing to double check is make sure the YouTube account that you are using to be a subscriber is the YouTube account that you're using for the members Discord. So that's just the first thought.
If not, have him DM me and I'll fix it.
All right. How can he DM you?
I'm Steve-O Spin in the Discord.
But he's not in the Discord.
He's not in the members only.
Oh. All right, if you're sorry everybody, but I just want to get this straight for members. I don't want any members to not have some of the, that's the whole point of, these are the membership perks. So, you can DM, what's your thing? Huh? Any member of the staff. Just DM any member of the staff that it's still not working for you. DM George, and then we will.
Don't laugh at my name. It's Poop McNasty on Discord.
Is that what it is on our server?
Yeah, Poop McNasty.
Aren't you Kudab?
I'm Kudab on my hang on, it's not working. I'll give you the number. It was a good stream.
All right, we got sidetracked, but we're back. We're back, but I want to help Bitcoin Rules because
Poop McNasty 2849. You know, the number sign and then 2849.
Bitcoin Rules says I'm a she, LOL, and I'm technically challenged. Well, Bitcoin Rules, you just got elevated to you might be our only female member. I don't get statistics on that for whatever reason. And I will tell you, I watched 2 or 3 other channels, one of whom was a woman, and she was really complaining. She showed all of her YouTube statistics, and she said, listen, I am a woman, and I do this, and I still can't get any women to watch my channel. She showed it was 97% men watching her investment channel. And that's about what ours is. So
97, huh?
I appreciate the diversity. I mean, I know women invest just as much as men. I just don't know. They're just not watching this channel, and apparently they're not watching this other person's channel either. So for whatever the reason, but welcome. Thank you for being a member. I am also technologically challenged. I didn't used to be, but I got old, I guess. So we'll get you straightened out one way or the other.
I don't know. It says, George, you are a treasure. I guess because I say the right things.
George is not afraid to do his thing and say what he says and be who he is. And that is a big part of what he brings to...
I don't know if that's good or bad, but...
It's good. We need more of that in this world where everybody's
I
afraid to
realized
say anything.
early on in life that not everybody likes me.
Well,
Kind of blows my mind.
you and everybody else. The oldest saying in the book, you cannot please all of the people all of the time. That's just the bottom line. So there's some people hate, okay? They said that in the original Rocky movie, and I believe it. If you could smash the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. We got 62 likes now. We're on our way to 100, so 100 we consider success. Much appreciated.
Just so you
Helps
know,
the stream.
I don't think 100. I like 1,000 is success, by the way.
1,000. I know. All of these numbers are much lower than what George and I would like to get this to over the course of time, but for today, 100.
Success.
Let's see. Dev William Hardy. Good day. Hope you're both having a great day. Other than my Bitfarms at $1.08, I'm having a pretty good day. I'm not going to complain. And I'm not going to complain on these pullbacks. I mean, we've had a run. We've had a massive run. So you know what? If we get a 10, 15, 20% pullback, I'm not going to be a crybaby about it. It's a buying opportunity is how I'm going to look at it. And I don't think it's the end of the bull run. I think, if anything, this is just a normal correction. You guys let me know. So let's end this. We got a lot of votes. Is Stronghold going to make it to 10 days over $1? So right now, the majority, 70% of the people think, no, it is not going to make it. And it's hanging out. It's at $1.04 right now. I saw it down at $1.02 at one point. So it is on the brink. So we're going to end this poll right now. We are skeptical of Stronghold getting to 10 days here on its first try. Remember, this is Bitfarms' third try.
Why would they want to keep it under $1? Is there a reason why? Is it because like people are scared if it's, you know, on the to be delisted?
It's all just fun. If they can keep it under $1 and they're shorting it, right? They don't, especially if they're already very short. The last thing they want to do is have them get that 10 days over $1 and take that pressure off. And now all of a sudden, you know, they're going to have to get out of their short positions. I don't know why. These people that short stocks that are already down 90%, they are greedy, in my opinion, and they deserve whatever it is that they get. Shorting stock down 90%, I mean, you better be darn sure it's going out of business. And most of these companies, in my opinion, are not going out of business. They're trying to make them go out of business, right? Because at $1, Bitfarm has no ability to dilute. They're not gonna sell. They're gonna sell as few shares as humanly possible at $1. When they know they should be a $3, $4, $5 company, or, you know, a year or two from now, maybe a $10, $15, $20 company. So it keeps them down.
So we know Bitcoin's in a range, right?
I mean, it's definitely in a range. So let's go out to the 1 day where you can see a little more. And that is, let's go further back in time. This is the whole run right here.
I can tell you why I mean, there's just not enough people buying in CleanSpark with the amount that they want to dilute.
You think they're using this opportunity still over $4.
Yeah.
You think they continue to dilute, and that's driving the price down a little. And if that's what's happening, that's okay, because then it's likely to rebound afterwards. No guarantee, obviously.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping. You know what I mean?
Dev William Hardy said, I'm down, but I'm adding more. Scapegoat said, Nice 2 red days. Tomorrow is payday, so feel as a kid in a candy store. Yeah, so you know, if there's a nice pullback going into payday, that's always a beautiful thing. Let's see. Barry said, if Bitfarm makes it to Monday evening safely, Tom should buy a Bitcoin on the aftermarket stream and break down and buy a big. I should buy more Bitfarms. Because once it gets to that 10 days, I'm already long term. I'm very bullish on Bitfarms. But also, I think if it can get this 10 days behind it, then short term, I'm also bullish, which is why I do have some fairly short-term Bitfarm options that, you know, if they don't work out, then they don't work out. But I think that that run up to $1.50 is long overdue, in my opinion, for Bitfarms. Riot is greater than CleanSpark, is greater than Marathon, is greater than Bitfarms. Thoughts? That's from Knee Deep. I mean, I don't think I would say, first of all, I like all four of those companies, and I don't think it's just so simple to say one is greater than the other. Those four companies have four. They're all mining Bitcoin, but they have four different business models, and you know, not all business models are created equal, and I don't think we know yet, depending on what happens to Bitcoin, the price of energy, the difficulty level of the Bitcoin network. There's a lot of variables that are out there. What, you know, if this law gets passed in Texas, then some of Riot's money that's kind of gravy for them is going to go away. Now, that doesn't ruin their business model at all, but that was a big bonus for them. It's one of the things I liked. And starting to look more likely, that has now passed the Senate and is going to the House in Texas. And it's basically, just so that everybody knows, it's not some penalty against Bitcoin miners. It's not an extra tax against Bitcoin miners. But what it is, there's an emergency program, essentially, when the grid needs energy, they pay members of the grid to stop using energy so that they can kick it back to the place that they need it. So Texas legislature is saying, listen, we're sick of paying Bitcoin this money. Why? That's arbitrary. Somehow, I guess they believe for some reason Bitcoin is less worthy than any other business that may contribute. All businesses are able to contribute to this program. So for some reason, they're mad that Bitcoin gets paid. And so they want to change the rules to limit the amount that they can get paid, and it will drastically reduce the amount. But like I said, that's just a benefit they're getting in Texas. So it's not like Texas is penalizing. They're just trying to take away a little bit of the unjustly, in my opinion, because, you know, it's uneven, you know, treatment under the law. This company does X, Y, Z, so, you know, they're okay to be reimbursed, but Bitcoin miner is bad. That's the underlying concept there, which I obviously disagree with, and Texas can thank their lucky stars and the fact that they were Bitcoin miner friendly. Their grid is vastly superior and growing, and it is because of the Bitcoin miners. Just my opinion. Thoughts?
I agree, and I think it's people don't realize how important infrastructure is for electric, and I think they still have a serious problem on their hands for their infrastructure in Texas.
Well, they made some bad bets on what the future looked like.
Well, I think they made bad bets on the technologies that they were sold a bill of goods that just weren't true, and that, unfortunately, that's the whole problem with EVs right now.
Yeah, that's a big question mark going forward. Tesla.
I mean, anything that helps the environment, I am for, but I don't know if we've taken into all the accounts of everything associated with EVs.
That's right. Helping the environment is a little more complicated than these black and white rules that they're trying to lay out. So, you know, EVs is its own not more than a deep dive. It's practically its own channel. I don't know how many of you, I know there's a lot of Tesla haters out there. There's a lot of Tesla lovers. There's a lot of Tesla haters. I am neither. I'm not invested in Tesla. I think they're an amazing company. I do think they're overvalued, but you know, they're the dominator in the space, and Elon Musk is, you know, he's proven himself worthy of investing in. So
Elon.
Eric said,
I don't know if I'd want to be the richest man in the world. You know that?
Here would be the ideal thing. If you were the richest person in the world and nobody knew it. To me,
Right.
that's the dream.
I agree with you.
Would love some insight on Canon. I have done them in the past, and I'm almost positive I pronounced their name wrong. That is one of many names that I mispronounce. So they do a little Bitcoin mining, but really what they are is they make the ASIC miners. So if there's demand for that, drop in the chat if there's demand out there for, you know, a deep dive on Canon or whatever it's actually called. What's the next poll? We got no poll.
No poll. We're pollless.
Well, I think we got to do our standard poll and compare from a day-to-day basis.
Oh, 35, 40, yeah. 25, 35, I guess, right?
Yep. So Bitcoin keeps getting closer to one of them than the other, but let's see what people think.
I mean, if we weren't having a big Bitcoin conference next month, I wouldn't be as confident as I, believe the price to go up. And that's Mr. Negativity speaking.
All right, I'm keeping this one simple. I was going to add some stuff, but let's just keep it simple. This is the same poll we've been running. Bitcoin's next move. So is our next move up to 35, or is it back down to 25, retesting 25? And then we can get more specific after that. Oh, see, I was off the screen and we got a little bit of green back. We're hanging at a 28.6-ish. But these keep, I mean, you know, what happened? These keep getting lower and lower and lower and lower. So, you know, it's not enough of a trend yet, but I don't love that. And we haven't seen, this is now, and 15 minutes is almost ridiculous to even look at. But if I go to the 4-hour, so we're fighting. I really, really feel like this one's got to get back up there. At least be a green candle, if not get back up to 28.8. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, Bernoulli is saying, I'm definitely interested in a Canon analysis. I'm going to have the computer tell me how to say that word because I'm positive. No, I'm not positive. I think I'm mispronouncing it. They are making great new machines, seem way undervalued in my opinion. Gorilla Tom, are you making videos at the Bitcoin conference? We got to get that organized, but yeah, I think that would be a good thing to do. And, you know, almost everybody's going to be there. So far, the only people that I don't see on the list, and they could be in a quiet period because of the fact that they have a pending merger. It looks like Hut 8 is not coming to the conference.
Really?
So far, you know, all I did was look at all the list of everybody who's speaking and everybody who's on a panel. I found all the other major Bitcoin miners and all the other major, you know, names, you know, Michael Saylor, etc.
Blue.
No Kathy Wood this year, but Michael Saylor will be there.
I don't know if I'm a big Kathy Woods yet person.
And no hype. You know, last year they were hyping that the announcement they're gonna make at, you know, at the Bitcoin event this year is gonna be so big, it's gonna change everything, and that just never happened. So we're not getting that hype this year.
You think it's low key?
I don't know. I thought that, you know, I never the practice of over promising and under delivering. I don't care what you're doing. That is just bad form. It's bad practice. So I would rather have them sandbag, and if they got something big, great. Let's see it when we get there. Robert saying, didn't some of the miners have agreements and contracts with Intel for their new rig? If so, it does impact them. So to my understanding, and I think I got an article up here, so I'll give you my quick summary and then we'll double check. So Intel's not going to make their ASIC chip anymore. But it's not like they said, we're stopping today, we're not honoring the rest of our orders, and we're never doing this again. They have a time frame that they're going to stop doing this. And I think it's somewhere in October of 2023 maybe, but I will double check that because I think I have that article open. And then they're going to wind down and they're going to get out of the business. So, you know, the two main companies that went with them were Argo Blockchain, which is floundering for every other reason under the book. I hate to bash them, but for me, I've said a couple of times, that's the company I have the least conviction in, maybe out of all the Bitcoin miners. And then Hive has, you know, made their, their Buzz miner. So they're using the Intel ASIC chip to make their own miner. They like their own miner. They've been touting the benefits of their own miner, but if they can't get that ASIC chip anymore, so they'll fill out the rest of the purchase order they've already got, and they may even be able to get another one in. But then, you know, at some point by the end of this year, it's game over for that. And let me see if I have that open. U.S. chip giant Intel abandons Bitcoin ASIC production. So I think they say the last of Intel's chips will reportedly be shipped out in April of 2022, 2 years after they were launched. Or, sorry, April of 2024, 2 years after they were launched in 2022. I think it gets a little more specific, maybe not in this article. But so essentially you can see there is a winding down period. They're not just telling everybody, you know, that ordered, too bad, we're not fulfilling our orders. But then it's going to be the end of that. I will tell you, it was a curiosity to me when they came into this space, because even if they took this entire space over and they were the only ASIC chip maker, it would still be insignificant to their overall business. So I don't know if they just got into this because it's a high profile thing. I don't know if they're getting out of it because now, you know, with all the FUD out there, Bitcoin mining is, you know, killing the earth, etc. So I don't know why they got in. I don't know why they got out. It's not a great look for them. I mean, that's 2 years from start to finish. They've scrapped the whole project. But it was strange to me that they ever even went in the first place. This was not something that could grow their business and affect their bottom line and their share price and add value. I just didn't think this ever made sense for them. So I guess they've had enough. Let's see. On the 4 hour, we keep setting lower tails, same as lower lows. Yeah, that's from Alex. I'm looking at the same thing. That's not That's not good. So you think, Alex, do you think we're going to go down to 25.5 or 25,000 or something in that neck of the woods? You know, is that our next stop? Sour Melon Gaming said, super disappointed with Sue and Jamie. Sue has been all talk and no action. So I'm
Uh-oh, what are you going to say on that one?
going to say I hear what you're saying. I am going to wait to see if this merger goes through or not, and if it does go through, to see what comes of it. Because at the moment, right, they're in radio silence. This merger wasn't what we were expecting, but maybe they see something that I don't. But yes, I understand. Right now, it just seems like and their mining activity keeps going down and down and down. So I understand people being very frustrated right now with them. I'm just holding and waiting. I think they made a lot of great moves along the way. Is maybe, you know, maybe this one's not a great one, but that I think that still remains to be seen. What do you think?
I think if you believe in Bitcoin, that you want them to do this deal. You need them to do this deal. Because look, you know, they got machines and they're having, I call this the marathon year for HUT right now. If you remember, Marathon did this last year.
That's right. They were regrouping, reorganizing. Yep. They were off their plan, but looks like they did put together a plan to get back on plan. And you're right. Marathon now is having a much better 2023. So I
think there's a reason why they wanted to wait 90 days. I think they thought Bitcoin was going to go up so they could sell their coins and have a ton of cash.
They got that stack. I mean, Jamie has been adamant that she loves her Bitcoin stack and she does not want to let it go. But they did commit as a part of the terms of this potential merger. They're selling the Bitcoin that they mine right now. So they're not necessarily digging into their stack on their balance sheet, but they are selling what they mine on a monthly basis.
Yeah, which is just awful. You know what I was going to say about Argo, Tom? I was wondering if we should reach out to them and talk to them and actually be a little bit more in depth. And like, because they need help, whether they realize it or not. You know what I mean?
Things have not been going well for Argo blockchain. There's no doubt. I think they made some moves they had to make to keep moving forward, or they'd be done already. But they're not the only Bitcoin miner that was in that situation. There's, you know, probably 6 or 8, if not more, that had to do similar things. It's just I don't see a plan coming out of the other side from them. So I'm just not sure. They're at 2.5 exahash or so they say. And that number just sits there with no plans of increasing.
And I have a question also about HUD. Look, because Mike was talking about he likes it because he's buying it because of their stack of Bitcoin. But if that stack is not included in the deal, how does that translate out to a stockholder?
I mean, effectively the stack is in the deal because that's what HUT brings to the table. They have a very strong balance sheet, so they want the concept of this. You know, in theory, is HUT has a lot of money. They have a strong balance sheet. You've got U.S. Bitcoin that doesn't have a strong balance sheet. They need a little bit of money. It's not a lot, but they're short and they need a little. But they do have some operations. They did get some good news in New York. So the thought was the two of them together are better than apart, especially since, you know, for HUT, it will help diversify. It's getting a little tough up there in Canada. You know, those are we are in the U.S. Those are our friendly neighbors to the north. And I know we also have a lot of Canadians that are subscribers and members. So you guys probably know better than I do, but it seems like it's getting rough for Bitcoin miners up there.
Do you, I have a crazy one, and I don't know why it just came to me, but it just did. In the United States, could they issue an executive order, no Bitcoin mining?
Could they?
Yes.
I mean, the answer to that is yes. It would absolutely, positively, immediately get challenged, and there would be a motion to stay that action and
So,
and
do
wait to
you?
litigate it out, and that would almost certainly be what would happen.
So I have a question. Do you think that's plausible?
I think because of the fact that it's a losing battle for them and it's immediately going to get set aside for the time being.
What
That's
do you
my
think
opinion,
happened?
right? I
What
mean,
do
I'm
you
not on
think
the Supreme
happens
Court,
to
but
the price of Bitcoin?
if they do that,
Yep.
I mean, that's the ultimate FUD, but that's all it is.
Well, I mean, why is it FUD?
It's
I
FUD
mean, they
because
could
it holds
totally
no
do it.
weight. The Supreme Court will overrule
Oh, I
that
see what you're saying.
100%.
How long would it take to get there? And then you
They'll
have to
fast track it.
really.
So,
So what I'm saying though is, if that happened, the price of Bitcoin would immediately go down.
yeah, I think that would be some massive front page splashing headline news if they were to do that. But that might be the mother of all buying opportunities, because it would be a nonsensical move, in my opinion, on their part.
No, I was just thinking I could see stuff like that happening.
Yeah, you
That
can't
wouldn't-
rule
would
it
that
out.
Be, would that could that be that wouldn't be like a black swan event or anything?
That no, I would not consider that a black swan event at all. It's FUD. There's been an inconceivable. I've never seen any industry or business or anything get attacked like the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners are over such a period of time. The FUD is just relentless, and despite all of that, we sit here and Bitcoin just pulled a double. So
Right.
to me, they can keep doing one stupid thing after the next, but it doesn't seem to be making the difference that they want.
These are the questions that go through my head at night.
Well, and all these things, we've been surprised many times before, so
Well, that's the reason why I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm not saying that it's logical, but if you see, I don't know if we want to call what the next thing I'm going to say could be political. But it is what it is, I guess. It's kind of like what they just did with the gas mileages for 2027, which I don't even know if it can work.
is that all passed and done?
It
And
was an executive order.
it's not until 2027, so
That's how they get you.
right. This was like, listen, we were all going to be on ethanol by now. Anybody
yeah.
remember ethanol? That stuff that ruins your engine?
Yeah.
So that's there was just as much excitement, and people are going to give me backlash for this, but there was just as much excitement about ethanol as there was about electric vehicles. And by the time that was done, they were 100% wrong about all of it, and it's now they're being phased out, and it turns out it's bad for your car. So I'm not saying that EVs are going to suffer the same fate. I'm just saying this is, narratives change over time. So you gotta pay attention and don't always just jump on the latest bandwagon. And we've seen that. Forget ethanol. How about the metaverse and NFTs? And I mean, we've gotten just one thing thrown after us. 3D printers was going to be the next thing. 5G was going to be the greatest investment opportunity of a generation. I mean, we've had thing after it's been a barrage over the last 2 years of, this is the now, what's it right now? What's the last 3 weeks? AI. Oh, AI is going to change the world. Like somehow all of a sudden we just reached some AI tipping point, and now the whole world is, going to succumb to AI. So I would submit to you that people investing in the AI stocks, they're probably run up too high right now. I also think most of them are what I would consider, it's a misnomer to even call them AI stocks, in my opinion. So that's my personal take. I won't go too deep into that because it doesn't really matter. But it's, it's the fad of the day. I had a discussion with somebody that I consider a highly intelligent person a year and a half ago who said every single thing on this earth would be an NFT in 10 years. Including Bitcoin. Each Bitcoin would be an NFT.
I mean, I can understand why he said that.
Because he's nuts. No offense. It's a friend of mine, but...
Oh, was that guy that we went out to dinner with?
No. That... I don't call him a friend, and he is a little wacky.
A little?
But my point is, you can see how these fads take over, right? It was, I mean, 3D printers were, that changed. The world is different now. We have 3D printers. Everybody invests in 3D printers. It's been one thing after the next. So that's all I'm saying is be careful about these super trendy things that pop up. And sometimes, they pop up for 6 months. Sometimes they last for several years. Ethanol was a decade and a half long fiasco. It is considered, and this is not my opinion, look it up. It is considered one of the great boondoggles in the history of the United States government. So they were just wrong about it, and and they've undone the whole thing now. And that's all I have to say about that. Let me know in the chat if you disagree. Robert Anderson said, at this point, I think Hut would do the best by just keeping their stack, adding what they can, and wind down mining when it isn't making money. Use other revenue streams to stay alive. I mean, if they don't do this merger, that feels like the path they're on, because they have started up some other revenue streams, and they have some significant high-performance computing data centers. And, if they can't get to where they're going by the halving, then they probably won't keep mining Bitcoin. But I do think they're committed to it. I'm going to take them at their word that, they believe in Bitcoin, and they're bullish on Bitcoin, and they consider themselves a Bitcoin miner first. Now, in their deeds and actions over the last 15 months, it might not really look that way, so I understand that. But I'm going to give them some more time and see where it goes. Edmund said, want great management? Wolf. Yes, we want to get Paul Prager on the channel. He did just do an interview last week, I think. But I got a bunch of other questions I'd love to get into with him. So, and he seemed like a solid person. So we'll see. AJ said, did you guys see Gary Gensler getting grilled about crypto regulations yesterday by Congress? Absolutely. I saw him not answering questions.
I saw a lot of clarity personally.
You got some clarity out of that, George?
Yep. I got some real clarity after that.
What was your biggest takeaway? What was your moment of clarity in the...
The moment of clarity was when Gensler said, I can't talk specifically about that one coin, but overall crypto is definitely not a commodity.
Well, he definitely thinks other than... If Gary Gensler has his way, other than Bitcoin, which he has long since given up on, the SEC would be in charge of all the rest of the cryptocurrency universe. That is his position. Now, I don't know that anybody believes that's going to be the way it ends up, but that is certainly what he wants. And he was forced to give up on Bitcoin, or he'd still be trying to get that too. But that ship has sailed. Michael's saying shorts are going to get burned here, just like the longs got burned on the way down. You know, I hate to see anybody get burned, but those people who are leveraging big time, it's just too risky in this space, in my opinion. So, you know, if you've leveraged yourself, and if you've leveraged yourself short against Bitcoin, then, you know the risk you're taking. I'll say the same thing. If you leverage yourself long, you know the risk you're taking, because all it takes is, you know, when you start 25, 50, 100x leveraging, the slightest of moves loses you all of your money. So that's, unless you are an expert, I strenuously object to that.
Or you have
line of
money to
investing.
lose.
Well, yeah, if you got money, it doesn't mean anything to you, then
I mean,
right.
It's just a game. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not.
Right, then it's just like going to the casino. You bring, hey, I got $10,000, and if I walk out with zero, I'm okay with that because, you know, I had fun.
I'm having fun.
Right.
If you know what the river rat is, then you know what we're talking about.
FV702, if this keeps tanking, we'll get back in with CleanSpark below $3.
Dude, really? Oh, that would hurt.
Well, we're not there yet. We're still at CleanSpark $4.16. We're at Bitfarms $1.09. We are at Stronghold. Oh, little run. Let me look at my more up-to-date thing and make sure that's correct. Where'd you go? Yeah, looks like we're at $1.07 on Stronghold. So that got down, I think, to, well, let's take a look. That got down to, whoa, according to this did touch $1 today. Let's go look. So that's how close these guys are to, you know, being over or under. Remember, our poll, we thought 70% thought they were not going to make it 10 days. If I look at Stronghold on the 1 hour, so this is this morning, they got down to, yeah, low, $1.000000. And they also got ripped off. I'm going to go to the 1 day. I think it was these guys that...
Oh, I went back below the magic number.
Yours did?
Yeah. It's right there, but...
Right, these guys closed at 98 cents. Who was it that closed at 99.9 cents? There was one of these guys had 1 day where they closed at 99.9 cents. So that day did not get to count in their streak. I'm going to just catch up. I fell way behind in the chat, so I'm scrolling. Edmund said, Tom, coal was attacked. Very good point. I mean, coal was viciously attacked over decades and is still being so right now. So that's a fair point. And then, yeah, shockingly, you know, back in the 30s, they actually confiscated everybody's gold. So, you know, that's another level. I don't see the and that was the United States, for clarity. I don't see I can't fathom anything like that's ever going to happen again, but it did happen. So, you know, you can't deny that it did happen. So they confiscated everybody's gold. And definitely, clearly, there's been an attack on coal, and I'll even just say fossil fuel, for quite some time now. There's been a pretty steady attack. And really, the attack on Bitcoin is adjacent to that very attack. It's the same attack. Sour Melon Gaming said, you can say it, Tom. EVs suck. We all know it. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. His Honor, people are finally starting to figure out where the electricity to fuel the EVs must come from. Fossil. Right, so that's the we got a long way to go on this EV conversation. There is no doubt. And, you know, I'm not going to say it's going to go away. EVs are gigantic right now. You know, they're selling in the tens of millions worldwide. So I don't know where their place will be in the long term, but I do think we can't see far enough into the distant future to a point where we're off fossil fuel, in my opinion. That's not me. That's not my kids' world. That's not their kids' world. So, you know, maybe someday, you know, we find some better, more efficient, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, I mean, if you just look at the research and what's happening, we're just simply not there yet. And by the way, you know, we've cleaned up our emissions substantially. If you look at a coal burning plant in 1965 versus one today, you know, the emissions have been cut down so drastically. It's comparing apples to oranges. So, yes, some people are worried about, you know, well, there's still carbon emissions. So I should find the clip. I did see an interesting hearing, and I think it was the automakers that they had up there, and it was the CEO of some automaker companies, some EV companies, and the guy asked him, you know, what you guys are worried about carbon? What percent of the atmosphere is carbon? And I was shocked that he got all of them to answer that question. You know, if I was them, I would not have answered that question, particularly if I didn't know the answer. They were wrong by thousands and thousands of percents, right? You measure the amount of, and not that this means anything. I mean, you got, what is the context of it? But they were guessing between, you know, 5 and 12%. You know, carbon is measured in parts per million. So, you know, they were magnitudes off base. But it just was a little funny to see these people who are saying this is the most important thing in the world, and they literally don't even have the first idea of even what the numbers are behind this. So, but it's more complicated than that. You know, it is a parts per million thing, and, you know, I don't even want to get into that debate. That's for a different channel, not this channel. I'm just looking at from an investment standpoint. I don't know. You know, I look at the EV charging stations. You got to look at signals, and that's why I bring up ethanol, because while Congress was still passing bills to mandate ethanol, the stock market, the stock market's way ahead because it's people's money. So by then, any company that had anything to do with ethanol was tanked. So Congress was just getting going, passing laws to increase the use of ethanol, and the ethanol companies were all dead. So, you know, that was, when you see those things happening, that's kind of a tell as to what's really coming. Edmund said EVs suck for rural, hot, cold weather and long distance. So it's hard to argue with any of that. They may be fine for limited distance driving, but only for limited use under certain conditions. So maybe that's the space they end up in. You know, for densely populated areas, driving small distances, maybe that's their formula. Maybe that's their niche. Maybe that's their spot in the future. But you're right. I mean, if you're in Oklahoma, you're probably not driving an EV around, because that's just not going to work.
Did you hear this about how much a battery weighs for a truck, for one of these like F-150s? Did you hear how much the battery weighs?
I did not.
I mean, again, I'm going by, this was testimony on Congress. 8,000 pounds.
8,000 pounds on
I
for
have
what
to
size
look it
truck?
For a truck like a F-150.
I mean,
I don't know if that's true or not.
That's
that
more than an
doesn't make
F-150 even weighs.
I know that was his whole point. I don't know if it's true. I don't, you know what I mean? But maybe it's 8,000. I mean, I guess that would make sense if it was 8,000 pounds for a freaking semi truck. You know what I mean? Because they're moving 50,000 pounds, which I think that, everything, I think like the last mile, if you live within a mile or, 3 miles of where you got to go, I think EVs are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a scooter guy.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where their place is in the future, and there might be a very good spot for them, just like long ago, a lot of the buses and fleets switched over to diesel, right? And then, so we've seen these types of...
That's a good question. Men's Style says, are EV charging station stock a good investment? Tom.
So for me, I've been following those closely for a long time, and if you want to ask, have they been a good investment for the last year? The answer is no. They continue to hover around their all-time lows. So that's why I'm looking at this space going, if EV is the future, and we need another 500,000 EV charging stations just in the United States, forget around the world, why are all the EV stocks crashing? So it's either the buying opportunity of a lifetime or it's a signal that, maybe this all isn't going where we think it's going. I don't know which one it is, but it would seem to be one of those. I got out of my EV. Well, I do have one that technically is an EV charging station that I still feel fantastic about. I talk about it all the time. Stock ticker BEEM, Beam. They have not been doing well. They're down to, I don't know, last time I saw they were like $12 or something. I don't check in on them daily because that's one of my set it and forget it stocks. But they're $10. Oh, they go under $10. I'm buying some more.
Who's this?
Beam. Stock ticker BEEM. So I know several of you guys, I've done a bunch of videos on them in the past. I haven't done one in a while, but I know a lot of you guys are familiar with this company, whether on your own or just from watching the channel. I feel like their story has gotten better and better and better, and their stock, I'm going to go to the 1 day. Like, that's not a healthy looking. That's back to October of 2022. But I'm going to keep going because this is nothing.
You're going to try to catch a falling knife?
Well, here, look at this. So this is back, and look, we're up from here. But even if I just go back to November of 2021, this was a $40 stock. You can also see we're now bouncing off of $10, which you can see, once, twice, 3, and now 4 times. This has been a very, very strong line of support for years. And again here. This goes all the way back to 2020. So I actually convinced myself to buy some more of this right now.
What?
Not financial advice.
Do you see this before? When was the company? When did it come to life? When was it born?
They go back a ways. I don't know what this drop was. This was in 2019. But they really didn't get going with their product, until this area. Oh, sorry. They really didn't get up and running with sales until after, like you see, I've got a giant X up here. This was a $75 company, a $50 company, but this was back, remember, December of 2020, January of 2021, February of 2021. These were the exact type of early revenue or pre-revenue stocks that people just shot them to the moon. They never belonged here. So, I'm not looking at this thing to get back to $75 necessarily, although I will tell you, if you look at the math, if you ever want to see a candidate for a short squeeze, this is the #1 company in the market, in my opinion. But I do not buy stocks for a short squeeze because they rarely happen, and you never see them coming. But I do think if you look at the chart, even if you just go back from November of 2021 or December of 2021, right? It's been trading between $10 and $25. So, and we seem to be back down to that $10 spot again. So,
And I'm in shock, especially with the stuff that just came out, that would get beat up so bad.
this has its own use case, even different from the other EV companies, because this is also a solar company, because this runs off of solar panels. It's off the grid. So it's the only EV charging that's off the grid. So as all these, California is faced with a situation where, they want to quadruple the number of vehicles, but their grid's already failing. So, an off the grid solution, and it's not going to be their entire infrastructure, but it can supplement their infrastructure. And I just think there's a huge market for this. I think to me, this hasn't even begun. And once again, we find ourselves back in what, for me, is a buying zone. So that's my tangent on EVs. And the other ones I'm staying away from because, go to, let's see, Blink. Right? Blink. So if you go back, this is about as far as you can go back to October 2020. This, again, company really didn't exist prior to that. So, this had this gigantic, ridiculous run-up, but we're all the way back down to the October 2020 number. We're at 3-year lows on this company.
Why does it always seem like it's easier to short stocks right now and make money than it is to
Well,
go
for the
long?
last 15 months, shorting has been the right bet, period. So, that doesn't mean it's true forever. And at some point, there's going to be shorts that and have already gotten caught, and things will go the other way. So, I mean, this is Blink. If you look at ChargePoint, it's going to look so. Blink is essentially since they started actually being a revenue generating, and they're not profitable, but since they started producing their product and generating revenue, this is their all-time low. So that's what I'm saying. If EV is the future and we're about to build out an EV infrastructure of charging stations, then why is every charging station at its all-time low? One of those things is incongruent with the other.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Thank you for getting me that information. So the battery for the F-150 weighs 1,800 pounds.
1,800. Oh,
right.
That's still
and just
pretty
so you
hefty.
know, a quarter-ton truck is a quarter-ton truck. That's like most of the weight. So I wonder what it weighs now. And then the battery, it must have been the battery for the semi, weighs 10,000 pounds for Tesla's semi. That's crazy. You know what's going to happen. These things are going to get in an accident and go kaboom.
I'll tell you what's happened while we weren't watching. We're now at 28,450.
Is that down or up? I don't know.
It's down. This trend keeps looking downward to me. I have to tell you, 25,200 is my line. If something doesn't change in the next 2-3 hours, which it could, but I'm going to start. See, I left the 4-hour chart.
Somebody just wrote down, buy Bitcoin before Apple announces it.
Someday Apple's going to buy Bitcoin. I don't think it's yet. So you can see there's this 4-hour closed below. This 4-hour opened and closed below 28.8. And now here we go on the third candle. So to me, I mean, we now have a direction we're heading in the short term. So I would look for no guarantees. Obviously, this thing does whatever. It's got a mind of its own. But I would look possibly to be retesting this $25,200 line. Let's see if it catches itself somewhere in the middle.
Wow, Coinbase gets Bermuda license.
Peter is saying it's like a slow train wreck. Cosmic Contrarian said, if Bitcoin goes back to 25K, these miners are all going far, far lower, highly likely to lose all their recent gains if that happens. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they did get most of their gains from like 27,000 to 30, almost 31,000. So if we go back and test 25, we'll see what people think. You know, if people think that's, you know, we're on the way down, then, you know, they may lose value. For me personally, I'll be buying the dip if that's what happens. So this was one of the options we talked about. 28.8 was a line. If that didn't hold, then I thought 25.5 was the next line. For me, that's my final line. I don't think we're going below that if we even go test it. But
well, if we
I've
go
been wrong
test that and
before.
go below it, then I mean I might, I don't know, jump off a bridge. But don't worry, there'll be water below it.
When is Bitfarms 6 months over for compliance? I'm not sure. I don't think they're close, but they can also ask for a 6-month extension. And given that they've had 3 runs now of, you know, a week or more over $1, while that's not compliance, I think that would get granted to them. So I really just don't think there's any scenario where they do a reverse stock split. I think they'll get back over $1. Our confidence is extremely high for me on Bitfarms getting back into compliance without having to do anything like a reverse split. And Darren said, Tom, Wall Street can be irrational towards certain sectors at certain times. Everything clean energy related is getting hammered in the teeth. Yeah, while they scream clean energy, they're crushing the clean energy stocks. AJ saying, Tom, how did the miners' price behave the year before the previous halving? So everything was so much lower back then, but I should look at that exact 1 year. I know they did have somewhere in the middle, they had about a 300% run up, then they ran back down. Also, there was world events in March of 2020 that kind of skewed exactly what maybe would have happened. So some of that data I discount. So, all right, George, it's 108. So I gotta.
You gotta what?
I gotta call it, unless you've got
call it.
something
See you.
else you're
Bye.
interested
No,
in.
you're good. I'm just trying to figure out where Bitcoin's going.
All right, so thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining us on the live stream, and thanks to all the members. Much appreciated. Thanks to George, who is now gone. So tomorrow is Friday. Is that true? Is tomorrow Friday? Tomorrow's Friday, and I got a thing tomorrow. So I will announce we will do a live stream tomorrow, but it might have to be a little bit early because I've got something I cannot possibly miss. So I'll get you guys that information as soon as I possibly can. So thanks so much. Let's go Bitcoin. Let's see if we can turn this around and see where we're going. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.